Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weighted to Win. It's good to see all of you again. And middle of winter, freezing in Johannesburg. Freezing in Johannesburg, but it's snowing in Cape Town as well. Darren, how's it been there?
No, the weather's cleared up nicely in Cape Town. It's sunny skies, so the track must be drying up nicely.
Excellent. Okay, but not as cold as it was.
No.
Daryl, how do you put up with the weather? I can't put up with weather. It's freezing.
Yeah, Clyde, this isn't my cup of tea. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, so we know, looking at the Turffontein track for this being recorded Friday night, that this is a tough card. It's not easy. We've had a discussion and we've decided we're not doing a pick six. There's other ways of play. The other we believe shrewd plays in terms of angling it differently when chatting with Darren and Daryl, and perhaps to take note of what the guys have to say as to how best to find the value in the meeting. So it's a Turffontein meeting. I just want to share the information with you in terms of what we've got. And as you can see, there we go. The scratchings, the only scratching I've got, have you guys got anything else? I've got race 3, number 5. A fraud is not running. That has been scratched. And then the other bit of information that I can quickly give you guys is to show you that the inside track, there's a 6 meter on the back stretch and bend with a 9 meter spur at the 500. So there's a 9 meter spur when they turn for home. Penetrometer's 20. They gave the track about 9 mils of irrigation in the last week or so. That's going to be a good hard track again at Turffontein inside. So let's get straight into it. If I may, I'll go straight into the 4th race, which is the opening leg of the pick 6. And I guess, Daryl, I'll start with you. One of the reasons why the card is so difficult is that the majority of your pick 6 races are made up of fillies and mares handicaps.
Yeah, the entire card's cluttered with fillies and mares handicaps, Clyde. Very, very tricky. You'll have to box carefully, and let's hope we've managed to narrow it down as best as possible. We start off in the first leg of the pick 6 as fillies and mares handicap going 2200, and we've got the likes of number 2 Illuminate in the race, who drops in class, and she's going to strip fitter. And she reunites with Marco van Rensburg, and Marco knows extremely well. He knows that she's a galloper, she's one-paced, so he'll ensure they're not gonna crawl and sprint, which won't be in her favor. So I think we can take heed over here that the pace will be genuine, and so there is some line of form with the sash of here, Clyde. Illuminate's actually got the beating of the sash by a good few lengths. I think it was by 3 lengths, and she's 2.5 kilograms better off. Yes. That was on the run on the 24th of April.
Yeah.
Now Maree and the sash have also met. Maree beat her by a length, and she's 2 kilograms worse off. So on a line through the sash, Illuminate should have the beating of Maree. However, Maree is a young 3-year-old. She does have scope for further improvement, and she did confirm that she stays in her latest outing. So I do have respect for Maree. But the horse that I'm leaning towards over here, Clyde, you're going to be shocked. She's not in the picture over there. Is the 11 Western Dance. Now, off that low weight, you just have to go back to the run on the 17th of June, where she's 4.5 kilograms better off with Maree for a 3.25 length beating. I think she represents some each-way value over here. That's the 11 Western Dance, but it's a wide open fillies and mares handicap to kick off the pick 6 with. We're going wide, and we're hoping we can survive. Not that we've suggested a pick 6, but if you are taking one, I'd suggest to throw in at least 4 or 5 over here to get through the first leg.
Okay, that's quite interesting. You found that also Brett Weber's that's right for the 11 horse at any price. Yeah, I suppose with regards to Illuminator, and Darren can come in here, having travelled, etc. If that's not a concern at all, number one. And just to let everybody know, I did phone Michael Azzi for the show just to ask him about his runners, and in relation to this particular race with the sash and Sophia's First, he said Sophia's First, did well as a maiden against winners when running second. So no reason, in his opinion, why Sophia's First won't run well against winners here. And obviously with the sash being top of the boards, he does believe that of the 2 to stick his neck out, that he prefers the sash of the 2 horses. So Darren, being the first leg of the pick 6, how do you rate the race?
A very wide open race. I'm not too sure how the pace is going to be in this race. So it's very difficult, but Illuminate would be my first choice. Since joining the wire mowing stable, I think she's really come well, and he's really good with his stayers. Her last start was in the gold vase. She was badly in. She ran accordingly, but not disgraced, only 8 lengths off. And on the inner track, she won before that a very good race. It was a slow run race that day. She came from the back of the field and swept on by late. So I think she is the horse to beat. Not much between the Sash and Morby, but I do believe that Morby, being a 3-year-old up-and-coming stayer, I think she's got more to offer and can improve. So Morby will be my second choice, and then the Sash for third. Another one I would throw in is Sophia's First. I think if you watch her races, she comes under pressure early and then finds another gear late. And I think she's still improving. And over the 2,200-meter trip, I think she'll be running on late.
Okay, so you're not leaving any of those out. But I mean, in terms of the first leg of the Pixies, it's one of those races that could throw up any sort of result. However, there does seem to be agreement amongst the guys that Illuminate is the right horse in the race if you had to choose a particular horse. Okay, well, let's move on to the next one, which is race number 5 on the card now. And as far as that event is concerned, let's have a look at the market where number 3 Time Spirit is top of the boards at 5-2. And I'll stay with you here, Darren, this being the first leg of the jackpot, and we're going to go into the jackpots a bit later. But it is a handicap, 5-2 the field. Time Spirit top of the boards from the Ashley Fortune stable with Samanga Kamala on board. And Duke of Sussex for Lucky Udalakis and Craig Zaki at 4-1. They at the moment are the 2 focused horses in the opening leg of the pot.
Yes, for me, I could narrow this race down to 3 runners, 1, 3, and 5. But my value bet on the card is Duke of Sussex. I was really impressed with this horse winning first time out the maidens comfortably, and those 2 occasions, Craig Zaki took him to the front, and he just stayed on and kept him at bay. Last time out, they changed tactics. They tried the 1,800-meter trip, and they rode him from the back of the field in a slow run race. It didn't suit him. He was one-paced, and then he stayed on the final 200 meters, but he was never going to get close. I do believe that the change of tactics from a 9 draw, hopefully he can get across into a handy position, and he's a very progressive sort. I think he's definitely the horse to beat and the value in the race. Time Spirit, a 3-year-old, he didn't beat much in his maiden, but he's a lovely horse. But I would rather sit back and watch how he runs first time out the maidens before having a bet on him. The interesting runner in the race is number 1, Pino Sylvestre. He's bred for this trip and further, being an ideal world out of a horse chestnut mare. He's currently 20-1, and I wouldn't ignore him. I think he's going to improve over this trip at 20-1. We've thrown him in the jackpot as well.
So that's a nice price. Any price, number 1, Pino Sylvestre from Waya Malving. Funny enough, I was also going to chat to Waya, but we'll find another time to speak and find out about how well that is. But that could be well found at 20-1. Daryl, let's go there. I mean, if you have a look at something like Darren's outside at number 1, Pino Sylvestre, would have a chance again when you look at the 5th race in this handicap.
Yeah, he could have found a shrewy over there. Certainly, if he's more effective over this sort of trip, he could be ahead of the handicapper. So Darren's certainly looking for major improvement now that he's stepping up in distance. I thought I also like Darren's value bets over here, Duke of Sussex. I think with Craig Zaki back in the irons, he knows him extremely well, and he's going to go forward on him because he's better when going handy, if not leading. So I think one can expect him to put that below par effort behind him and bounce back to form. And then Dawn, if you like Duke of Sussex, I know Dawn of an Era's had many more starts and more exposed. However, he is on paper 2 kilograms better off with him, and for just under a length beating. So if you like Duke of Sussex, Dawn of an Era is not going to be too far back, if not reverse that form. Depends on who gets luck in running and so forth. But Dawn of a New Era is not the most reliable of sorts. But just have a look at the 2 runs with Gab Lorena and the Ides.
Yeah.
He's finished close up on both of those occasions. He's fairly well drawn. I know he tends to lose ground at the start, but if he jumps on terms and he manages to slot in behind Time Spirit, I think he could follow him through and pounce at the right time. I think those are the 2 we have to favor here. Time Spirit, he got it all his own way last time out. He steady canter up front. He sprinted for home, got the run of the race. I think that margins flatters him somewhat. So I think he's very short in the market. But in saying that, he's lightly raced, plenty of scope for improvement. So it won't be a shock to see him win. I just think he's too short in the market. I think perhaps others will start favorite of year.
So that'll
a horse that I'm looking to follow in future is number 2, Super Handsome. That's a cracking form line. But I think follow him next time out when he's having his 3rd run off the low on a more galloping track. I think he's one to be with next time out. But I'm leaning towards Duke of Sussex over Dawn of a New Era in the 2nd leg of the pick 6.
All right, we'll keep Super Handsome in the notebook. Dawn of a New Era. Another stable that might have a good day tomorrow is Erica Verdenier. So, and yeah, you're
Absolutely.
right. They team up very well, and that takes us to the next race. I like a bit of the one Ideal Angel here. I mean, also Erica Verdenier's Lyle Hewitson teaming up here. Daryl, what do you make of her?
Yeah, Clyde, she certainly improved with the blinkers. And I'm expecting her to put a below par effort behind her last time out. She's dropping in class of year. I think we can expect a bold effort from her because she's certainly gutsy and she goes handy with those blinkers. And on a hard track like this, I don't expect her to be too far back, turning for home. And with her guts, she could certainly fight it out of the year. Just looking at the pace in the race, I don't see much other than Fire Flower. And in her favor, she's racing fit. She's super fit. She loves this inside track. She's going to go up handy and she's basically going to have everything in her own way. If she can certainly feature in the finish. And then the favorite, Bella Rossa. I'm not too concerned with her wide draw. She's a hold-up type. And I like the fact that she now is back on the inside track. Although she gives them starts, she's got a short running. She's got a very short burst. And back on the inside track, that favors her. And I think she's possibly the one to beat over Fire Flower, but healthy respect for Ideal Angel. I don't think you have to go wide over here. I think you can narrow it down to a few runners in this Feliz Mares handicap.
Okay. DARYN, just a note, if I can come to you now and bring you in about this, so we're halfway through. Is there a sort of spook in the pack in this particular lineup that we need to look out for?
Well, I've actually got a first choice here, number 7, Dark Travel. She's around 8 to 1. If you look, she relocated from Cape Town to the Highveld. She's had 4 runs in the Highveld. Her first 2 runs were not too good, but her 3rd start at Turffontein over 1,400 meters, drawn 11 out of 12. She had no choice but to tuck in at the back of the field, and she was flying at the finish behind Mama Quero, a nose. Then last time out on the inner track, she was drawn 10 out of 11. And she also tucked in at the back of the field and was making steady late progress to get beat only 2 lengths at the finish. She has a much more favorable draw, and I do believe that she will be running on strongly. Hopefully she can get a good position from the beginning, and she'll be staying on nicely. Fire Flower, good course and distance record. She's won and run 3rd over course and distance from only 2 starts. And her ratings at a good place of 72 from a good draw. I know they tried to change tactics with her lately, tucking her in, and she seems to stay on nicely. So hopefully if she can get a lead or 1 or 2 horses go in front of her, she'll be staying on well at the finish. Bella Rossa, drawn wide. She'll be doing her best work late from that draw. She has no choice but to tuck in off the pace. And then Ideal Angel, the other one that I give a big chance of running in the money.
All right, so we're not to leave out Dark Travel. as far as that event is concerned, race number 6 on the card. Interesting, Brett Weber might end up having a good day too, with you guys, having tipped 2 of his horses already as we go on to the 7th race, where they do seem to be betting 3 to 1 the field. And Darren, there again, I mean, when we spoke about Erico Verdenese, one would certainly have some sort of preference, Darren, for a horse like Ferrari. What do you make?
Yes, definitely. She's a massive runner. She is I would say she's the class horse in the race. She's proven herself at feature race level. Her run over the mile on the inner track, she ran a cracker behind Way of the World. I think it was the Syringa handicap. And she was closing the gap late from 5 lengths off at the 400 to get beat only 1 length. So from a good draw in not a big field, I think Ferrari could be the horse to beat. The improving filly Phoenix, she only has 53.5 kilos and a good draw. She returned back to best last time out, and she does receive 6.5 kilos from Ferrari. So that brings her right into the race. And then the joint favorite Lee Express, she looks progressive. I think she got a penalty for her last start, a 3-point penalty for running second behind Louis Gem. So we haven't left her out. We've gone the 3 runners in the jackpot.
Interesting. Thanks for that, Darren. Daryl, the weight difference between Phoenix and Ferrari, Daryl?
Yeah, Clyde. Phoenix probably more up and coming, but Ferrari, like Darren touched on, she's a class package in the race. And really, on this inside track at Turffontein, she's at her absolute best. She's very effective over here. And although that form line in the Syringa handicap hasn't really stood up, it was her eye-catching late finish that caught the eye. And another solid effort can be expected over here. She's well drawn. She can race up handy, and she's very, very classy if one has to look at her opposition over here. So for me, she's the value bet on the card. I'm expecting her to go very, very close. The danger I do make Phoenix. Now, we've seen flashes of above average performances by her. And I like the fact that she won with a bit in hand last time out. So it could have boosted her confidence. And I'm expecting her to give Ferrari the biggest amount of cheek. If you're looking for an outsider to throw into your trifectas and quartets, have a look at Phoenix's stable companion, Virginia. Her ratings plummeted down, and she's now nearing the mark where she's going to start being competitive. So throw into your trifectas and quartets, but I'm expecting Ferrari to notch up another winner on the inside track over here. And in the past, we've actually seen her finish towards the outside with Jason Gates once upon a time. With that 9-meter spur, perhaps they just come to the outside fence. So I don't think that will be a problem for her because she has finished there before in the past.
I wonder if she won't end up starting favourite after this Ferrari. 8th race on the card. This was Highborn Lady. I spoke to Michael Azzi, as I alluded to earlier, and he said, she went wrong, and that was the reason for the break. As far as they're concerned, they've given enough work to Highborn Lady. Not that they've been on the grass, but enough sand work, and that from a soundness perspective, he's 100% sound. And if the long layoff doesn't get too Highborn Lady, then she's certainly got a big winning chance here. She's currently at 9-2. He sounded quite confident to me, Daryl. So I'm going to lean with Highborn Lady here. Having heard what Michael Azzi's got to say, would you change your perspective or outlook on this race?
Oh, Clyde, when I lose, I like to blame myself. So sure. I trust my own form study. She's not in my top 3, but you know what? The stable of the Asmen currently, they're in such devastating form. So you have to respect each and every runner that they step out. And he seems quite confident. But just on paper, I thought she's returning from a long rest, taking on in open company. She'll have her work cut out. But the confidence is there from the stable, so I respect her now. I do respect her. I just want to touch on the 3 runners. Written in Stone, Putin's Promising Gilboa. There weren't much separating them in their last starts, and I don't think there'll be much separating them tomorrow. You have to throw all three into the equation of this Gilboa stable companion, Super Agra. Now, he made a very good, pleasing debut for the stable up here of Peter on the high felt. He's only got 49.5 to shoulder from a good draw. If he repeats that effort or puts in a similar effort, he could be thereabouts. But I'm looking at another class package in the race of CLYDE, the 12-1 Enjoy the View. Now, he's my first pick. He's had excuses in his last couple of outings, but his ratings plummeted down. I think he's now off what's he off? He's off 86 from a 101. Not only does he drop in rating, he drops in class as well. And we've seen this combination of Warren Puertas and Samanga Kamala team up with plenty of success in the past. I'm just looking at his penultimate start when he finished second to Al Sakit. If he can reproduce a similar effort to that, he could certainly be the upset material in the race. But it doesn't end there, CLYDE. It's a very tricky handicap. My first pick, the top weights, Enjoy the View.
Interesting, very interesting choice. Darren, have you got something similar in the final leg of the jackpot? How do you read it?
Yeah, very much. My first choice is Written in Stone. His ratings down to a competitive mark again of 79. I think when he last won, he was around a 78, 79. And then he was just, I mean, if you look at his last 4 runs, he's been 1-2 lengths off the winner. He's always right on top of them. And now that they've dropped him that extra point, I think you're going to see a massive run from him. He's won over course and distance. He's got a very good record, and he's got a good draw. So Written in Stone, a big runner. Highborn Lady, you know, when she won first time out, I had a bet on her. She didn't take on a strong field of fillies, and she won accordingly. And then she was slightly disappointing next time out. Being a handicap and with 58.5 kilos, not for me. I think we have included her into the jackpot, but not my first choice. Not much between Gilboa and Putin's Promise. Putin's Promise, he's a funny horse. When the times I do label him, he disappoints, and the times I leave him alone, he wins. So he's not one to trust, but he's just one of those horses. Gilboa's got good form. And then Super Agra with 49.5 kilos. It is his second run after a rest. So we'll have to see how he goes, but you can't ignore him.
Okay, interesting. Written in Stone for you. Enjoy the View for Daryl. Thank you, boys. You've put me right off Highborn Lady. Well done, eh? Did a very good job. Very, very well done. I'm not changing my mind. 9th race on the card, final leg of the pick 6 and the final leg of the second jackpot. From Here to Eternity's top of the boards at 2-1. Dragon Queen 3-1, Kapama 5-1. Darren, can we get away with something off the top of the boards, in your opinion, or is it one of those races where you've got to go wide again?
Well, I believe if From Here to Eternity stays the 1450, she'll win. But there is a question mark. She has got a speedy pedigree. She seems to, I mean, a lot of her runs, she runs handy, and then other times she runs on to finish. It's very difficult to say, but the 2.5 kilos off her back, she will be my first choice, but I do doubt that she sees out the 1450. Other horses to consider, there's a couple of them. Dragon Queen, she won a weak maiden last time in Durban, and she'll have to confirm that race, but this is a very weak handicap, so she comes into the race. A horse like Evening Rise, she won off a 60 rating. She's currently rated 65. So a little bit more to do, but comes into the race with a chance. I'm not sure what happened to Kapama last time. I thought she broke down last time out, but I see she's back and Hewittson's in the saddle. On her best form, she comes into the race. Another 2 to mention, a big outsider, Comet Crystal, Wire Mowing Stable. I do believe that off this current rating, if not in need of the run, I think she's got a big chance as much as anything else in the race.
Okay, that's number 7 on the card there. Daryl, as far as your assessment of the final leg of the second jackpot is concerned and final leg of the pick six?
Yeah, Clyde, I think this race is much more open than what the betting suggests. I think there's going to be a lot of money for some outsiders. It's a pity that Wayo's quoted in saying that Comet Crystal may need the run or will need the run in the computer form, because I really like the look of her. Just have a look at her form on the inside track. Have a look at her rating. Have a look at the draw. Everything's in her favor, other than she's returning from a rest. So we have to take note of the trainer's judgment. He says she'll need the run, but I do have respect for her, and I think she could still run into the money because she's got a lot in her favor. Two other horses I want to touch on. Evening Rise. Now, she's been contesting open handicaps, much stronger. She now reverts back to fillies and her own sex and lesser opposition. I'm expecting her to bounce back to form. And then a huge roughie, I think she's quoted at about 16 to 1 currently, is Make a Penny. Now, her rating is absolutely plummeted. With Samanga Kamala in the iron from a neat draw, I'm expecting her to be to start being competitive off a lower mark. She could certainly upset the apple cart over here. But I think it's a very wide open race to end off the second leg of the last leg of the second jackpot. You want to be as wide as possible going into that final leg.
Yeah, just to let you know.
I just want to mention another horse with a chance in the last.
Yeah.
It's number 10, Bitter Wind.
Yeah.
Currently, off her rating, she's dropped from a 71 to a 57. And on that run to Evening Rise, I think there's a 4-kilo swing in her favor. So if there's going to be another shock result in the last, Bitter Wind.
Okay, well, for those, as far as the market goes, that it's not on the screen that's showing you anything there at the moment. 8 Make a Penny is 14 to 1. 10 Bitter Wind is 14 to 1. 9 Riveting is 20 to 1. 7 Comet Crystal is 25 to 1. And this horse 11 Hour Biscuit is 50 to 1. So the Comet Crystal horse, you guys are on at 25 to 1 any price. And I see Our Biscuit and the equipment changes a gin strike. You still believe in all of that, Daryl? The gin strike? You taking any note of that?
That's not going to.
Derek Flynn was around. If Derek Flynn was around today, they never looked at form. They only looked at the gin. That horse has got no form, but they saw gin strike. They won in the old days.
Absolutely, yeah. But those were the good old days, Clyde. You could take poison that when they put the gin on, they're going to be having a go. Nowadays, horses running. Yeah, things have changed. And I think that horse needs much more than a set of elements.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. The bipod, guys, that you've worked out, just to quickly, if I may, there's the cost, 320 Rand, and that's what you've given to the patrons. 2 and 4 by 4, by 2, 3, 4, 8, 11, by 1, 3, 4, 5, by 1, 3, 4, 7, by 2 and 8. That's our bipod play. We're spending 320 Rand on that. Now, we worked out 2 jackpots for you, so you guys can have a look at that. The first jackpot starting race is 5 through 8, and the second jackpot naturally starting race is 6 and 9. You're wondering why did we put a pick 6 together? Well, now you've heard the assessment of the guys, what they like in the 4th. The 9th does seem quite difficult, and putting that together can be quite a costly perm. But you can decide as to what you want to do and make your decisions as the viewers. Take the pick 6 based on the assessments given, but we're recommending 2 jackpots. The first one's 360 bucks. And the second one's at 630. So if you spend 100 Rand, you'll get 10% between the two on each of those perms. Darren, so just to wrap things up from your side, here's your information of the day. And I put a double in there. I worked out the double. If for 80 bucks they can get 1,000 to 1 the stretch. If that was the play, you want to take us through that quickly?
Yes, for sure. My best bet is White Fang. He's a progressive stayer. He's an out-and-out stayer. He'll see even 3,200 meters in the future. And his last win was really impressive. His first time out the maidens, and he really caught the eye the way he won. So for me, White Fang, a hard horse to beat. He might harden in the market. He might start even money. Value bet, Duke of Sussex. I've discussed this one. I really like him. And the double works out around 12 to 1.
Okay. That's from your side of things. Excellent. Daryl?
Yeah, Clyde, I wish you had spoken to Wayo, because I'd love to find out what he thinks about Visionaire versus Jackson's Jewel in the second race. For me, Wishane, she's a professional maiden. She's well exposed, and she holds a few of the others in the race. She holds the likes of Understated and Royal Nazano, I think, or Tony Nassib's horse.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear Waya's opinion, but just looking at the race, this was Jackson's Jewel. He convinced me in his second start that he's going in the right direction. He now goes over the trip of 2,600 meters, an extra 800, and have a look at his dam side. It is steeped with stamina. He's going to love the extra trip. I think he's got the most scope for improvement. He's taking on a bunch of professional maidens. He was actually my best bet, Clyde. I had him marked up as my best bet. Then I saw the price of 6-1. I said, let me rather make him my value bet. I do believe he's going to start much shorter. I think he'll start close to favorite. And he's certainly got the most scope for improvement. I'm expecting a big run from him. Last time out, the things didn't really go in his favor. They canceled and sprint. They called and sprinted. He stayed on. I think he's the one to beat in the second race. And then I'm hoping for, look at this, Clyde, the Suzette and Barcy for you in double. Ferrari, you know, they're in the fight with Drakenstein as champion owners
And Chris
for the season.
Yeah, the three of them. Chris, isn't that Chris?
Yes, that's right.
And yes, Suzette, well done to them. It's going to be a great race.
It will be great for them to notch up a double. I'll certainly be shouting in their camp. Ferrari, the class act in the race. That's my double. It works out at 44-1. If you're looking for the place double, get involved. I'm sure you can get around 33-10 the place double. That's worth to save your outlay on the win double.
Okay, well, just to let you know, Visionaire is currently at 4-1. A stablemate to your horse, Jackson's Duel, is trading at around that price that you've got on offer at the moment at 6s. So I think they're starting to get into Jackson's Duel as well. So that's interesting. It's going to be an interesting race. Thanks for the summary there on that. My double, I don't know, after speaking to Michael Asia, I'm taking the Azzy double. I'm going White Fang in the third. I'm agreeing with you guys there. And whilst you're not that keen on Highborn Lady, I think what I heard, I like what I heard, and it's not impossible for Highborn Lady to win. There's a stretch 1,000 to 70, the Azzy double, the play of the day. That's the latest news from us. Watch us Friday nights. Don't forget. Thank you very much for joining us as always. We really do appreciate it. And just on that note, it does the title there. Lyle Hewittson's wrapped up his Jockeys Championship, which is great. Owners is going to be a very good one. From a training perspective, I see that Justin Snaith's wrapped it up. Is that right?
I've just been following the owners, but I'm sure he has wrapped it up. You know, funny enough, Clyde, there's already match betting out for next season.
Yes.
Trainer versus trainer.
Yes.
If the guys want to go have a look at that, I know it's on World Sports Betting for next season. But there's not many punters that are willing to lock in their money and wait an entire season of odds of about even money. So it's a long haul. But if you're willing to do that, go check it out. It's interesting.
I see
Very interesting.
End up running second there. And then I also noticed amongst the breeders, there was Klaver Flame, Turffontein, and Wilgeborg Strift that are having a bit of a duel. So there's a few duels going on at the moment. I think Carl Stradham's wrapped up champion apprenticeship as well, Darren. He's done pretty well. He's had a few winners in PE, Carl Stradham. He seems to be riding very well too.
Yes, he's doing really well. He's had a couple of really good winners lately, and he's improving from strength to strength.
Excellent, guys. All right, well, it's a good season. It's been a good one, and hopefully we can get everybody into the winner's queue on Saturday. Not that it's an easy card. It's not. Information is key. Study the card. Make up your minds. Decide what you want to do. And I'm going to bed now because it's freezing.
Yeah.
It's
Clyde, I just want to
sleep.
Just that your double that you put up on the slide over there, it's missing 2 zeros. You put up 1,000 to 70. I don't know. Isn't it meant to have 2 zeros at the back of the 70 or 3 zeros?
What are you talking about?
Eh?
Wait, am I wasting my money, boy? Is that what you're telling me?
No. At 70 Rand, the day you put 70 Rand on the double,
Me putting away.
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. That's the play. That's what we're going to do. We keep it that way. That's the interest. We'll be on the tote. But thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. And then hopefully we can preach what we practice in the term of next week, that everything's landed.
It's all done. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Ciao.